President Trump joined the calls for unity following today's shootings. Chief White House correspondent John Roberts says a president who is known for sharp political rhetoric took a very different tone today. Good evening, John.
Good evening to you too, Chris. You know, unity is something that has been glaringly lacking in this country on a number of different levels. And today's attack really was a shocking indication of just how bad things may really be.
For the first time since taking office, President Trump addressed the nation about an attack on domestic soil, this one involving members of Congress, including the third-ranking Republican in the House.
Congressman Scalise is a friend, and a very good friend. And Steve, I want you to know that you have the prayers not only of the entire city behind you, but of an entire nation and, frankly, the entire world.
The president also had high praise for the Capitol police officers who took down the shooter. Heroes, he said, who likely prevented a bloodbath.
Many lives would have been lost if not for the heroic actions of the two Capitol police officers who took down the gunman despite sustaining gunshot wounds during a very, very brutal assault.
First Lady Melania Trump joined in the praise in a rare tweet, writing, quote, "Thank you to the first responders who rushed in to help protect those who were hurt in Alexandria, Virginia. My thoughts and prayers to everyone." While some members of Congress who were at the ball field blamed what they called political rhetorical terrorism for the attack, President Trump did not address the political environment. He did say all of those who were caught up in this morning's incident are public servants and urged unity in the wake of the attack.
We are strongest when we are unified and when we work together for the common good.
As the president was appealing for unity, Democrats, some 200 of them, slapped him with a lawsuit this morning. It took 17 pages just to list the plaintiffs' names. The suit was yet another challenging the president's continued ownership in his vast business empire, arguing he is robbing Congress of its oversight responsibilities regarding payments from foreign entities, so-called emoluments. The suit claims, quote, defendant has chosen to accept numerous benefits from foreign states without first seeking or obtaining congressional approval. Defendant has thwarted the transparency that the, quote, consent of the Congress provision was designed to provide. The White House dismissed the suit, as it has ones before it, in a statement to Fox News saying, quote, the president's business interests do not violate the emoluments clause. This is another example of the Democrats playing political games instead of working for the American people they were elected to serve. President Trump today also made good in a pledge he articulated repeatedly on the campaign, that when it comes to military matters, he will put his faith and decision-making power in the hands of his defense secretary, including whether to add more troops in Afghanistan.
At noon yesterday, President Trump delegated to me the authority to manage troop numbers in Afghanistan. The delegation of this authority does not at this time change the troop numbers for Afghanistan.
In the wake of today's shooting, President Trump canceled his entire public schedule, including an event at the Labor Department to promote apprenticeships. But we are told that he will likely resume his full public schedule again tomorrow. Chris?
John, as you know, there's been a lot of talk on Capitol Hill from the two congressmen we just had on set about trying to find a way past the partisan rhetoric that is dividing this town, trying to damp it down and trying to maybe create a new sense of unity here. Is there any talk about that, about trying to change the tone at the White House?
No, this president, all during his campaign, said that he wanted to change the tone in Washington. He wanted to change the status quo, wanted to not make it business as usual. In doing that, he promised that he was going to break probably a few more eggs than a lot of people would have preferred. But, Chris, you know, we've been here before. 9/11, other events like that, and we've seen for a moment the country comes together and then inevitably it splits apart again. So not to be a pessimist, but whatever we're seeing today may be short-lived.
Let me ask you one other question before I let you go, John, and that is the congressional baseball game is going to be tomorrow night. Is there any thought of the president attending the game?
No, I mean, he was never thinking about it initially, and the White House has confirmed that plan is not changing. The real problem is that in order to move the president somewhere, particularly in this environment, the Secret Service needs a certain number of days in order to put a security plan in place, and there just isn't time to do it, Chris.
John Roberts reporting from the White House. John, thank you for that.